Hey everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. It's time for Comics Revisited. Today we're talking about What If number 2. What if the Hulk always had Bruce Banner's brain? That's right everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers Comics Revisited. I am Rockin' Robbie Billups. This is
Brooks.
The Magnificent. He is magnificent. You are for checking out this video. Today we're talking about what if the Hulk had the brain of Bruce Banner. Or more accurately, it actually says this inside. What if the Hulk had always had Bruce Banner's brain? Because we have read plenty of Hulk stories where he has the intelligence, or quote-unquote, the brain of Bruce Banner. Yeah. Have we not? The Hulk throughout the 90s. We have Mr. Fix-It. He's a little smarter, right?
Smart Hulk.
Then we got Professor Smart Hulk, which all that kind of stuff, which we ultimately realize that are just different personalities within the Hulk. But what if, from the moment that the Hulk was created, he always had the brain and intelligence of Bruce Banner? So first of all, what if was the brainchild of editor-in-chief at the time and head writer at Marvel, Roy Thomas. Roy Thomas, one of my favorite creators at Marvel ever. One of my favorite writers at Marvel in Marvel history. What if number 1 was great? We talked about that several weeks ago, right? It was so fun. What if number 2 was even better, I think, than what if number 1?
Yeah, I think so.
So the what if concept is basically taking focal moments in Marvel Universe history and what if something slightly different happened and creating a whole new reality about it. And one of the fun things about this is where the Marvel multiverse was created, right? Each one of these is a different reality because the Watcher, who is the narrator,
he's like a buff Watcher.
Yeah, right. Super buff. In this one, he gets a little bit more Kirby-like, I think.
A little bit.
Yeah,
but he's still got the giant, huge buff body.
Watcher is jacked, but the Watcher is basically looking in, peeping in, snooping in, spying in on alternate realities to see if
why
something
wouldn't
happened.
he? He'd be bored just watching.
What if Brooks quit PCP after 2 weeks? What if Rockin' Robbie turned Pop Culture Philosophers into nothing but a pepper-eating channel? Right? What if, Brooks? What if?
Now we come back to eat for the pepper eating.
Do you want to? Because we're doing one.
No thanks.
Oh, now Brooks has got me excited. You heard it right here on this Comics Revisited. Brooks, you want to get on pepper eating content video with us?
Doesn't sound fun.
We can start. You do a habanero with me, right?
Yeah, I do that.
You do a habanero.
Yeah.
A habanero. Whatever it's called. Is that Italian? I don't know. Anyway, what if number 2? We're talking about this. It's written by Roy Thomas, as most of these first ones are, and it's got artwork by Herb Trimpe, who of course is a legendary Hulk artist. This basically goes from Hulk issue number 1, and it changes the Marvel Universe. Because the Hulk has Bruce Banner's brain, he makes peace with Thunderbolt Ross.
He doesn't freak out and destroy stuff.
He doesn't freak out and destroy stuff.
He's basically like, it's like, oh, I need to calm down and,
Immediately he tells Betty, hey, I'm Bruce. They fall in love. They get married, even though he turns to the Hulk every night. And one of the cool things is early in the Hulk's career, he would only turn into the Hulk at night. That's something they brought back in the Immortal Hulk, but it very quickly went away. But if he had Bruce Banner's brain from the beginning, he stays that way, right?
Yeah.
So they get married. They go off. Ross is cool with them. It's happy. They're making scientific progress for humanity.
And it's like they form a brain trust between him, Reed Richards, and Professor Xavier.
Yes.
And Professor Xavier never founds the X-Men because of it.
And because the Hulk is not dumb enough to get duped by Loki.
Yeah.
The Avengers never happened. Avengers.
And the Fantastic Four broke up.
And the Fantastic Four break up because Reed first meets up with Bruce, and they use gamma radiation to cure Ben of being the Thing. So Ben goes off and marries Alicia, and they're like, well, the Fantastic Four are broken up. And I guess Reed and Sue may never get married either. Then, right?
Something like that. I wasn't clear whether they were married.
But basically, like you said, Reed spends all this time with Bruce Banner / the Hulk.
Yeah.
They do all these amazing scientific advancements. Xavier comes in and joins them and says, I think that my mental abilities and my smarts.
Yeah, make sure to mention, like, I was planning on starting a school for mutants, but this is way better.
This is way better than that. So no X-Men, no Avengers, no Fantastic Four. off the bat, right?
Like all the major super teams basically never happened.
So basically,
or broke up.
Bruce Banner's life is way better. Way better.
It's kind of like the Spider-Man one, like, he was so much better off as a member of the Fantastic Four.
Than the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, the FF kind of got fucked out of their most powerful
Yes, they
member.
really did. So in this one, they team up together, and like, as soon as he meets Gargoyle from that first issue of The Incredible Hulk, he's like, instead of fighting with him, the Hulk's like, you know what? I know what it's like to be smart and be an ugly monster. He's like, I know that you know. Let's work together. He's talking out his problems, right? So none of these big problems develop, right?
Yeah.
Really. And
like
Loki even gives up.
Diffuse problems without actually hitting anything as the Hulk.
Yes.
Like, you don't see him throw any tanks or vehicles or do pretty much of anything.
So he's married. He's happily married. He's working with Reed. He's working with Charles Xavier. Everything is fine. And then Galactus shows up, doesn't he?
Yeah.
What happens when Galactus shows up, Brooks?
Well, they have to fuse themselves into one, like, superpowered being.
One superpowered cosmic psychedelic being.
X-Man.
Is this not the first appearance of
the true X-Man?
The true X-Man. Right? Let's do it. No, if this is Wakanda, we go left over right for X-Man. Right? This X-Man. The true X-Man first, like, shows up in this issue. Does he not? Explain what that's all about. What happens there?
Well, it's just like basically a temporary measure for them to, like, get, like, a superpowered being for a while, and then, like, afterwards they revert back.
But before that, Ben Grimm shows up.
Yeah, but their powers, like, leave them after, like, they do this. It's like a one-shot.
Before that happens, as they're X-Men and they're about to go defeat Galactus, they have lost all humanity, right?
Yeah.
And their consciousness it all combines together. Xavier, Reed, and Hulk Banner doesn't even exist anymore. It is truly the X-Man, this giant cosmic being. And before he goes off to fight Galactus, Ben shows up. Ben Grimm's like, how can I help? Who's been happily married to Alicia Masters for years, right?
Yeah.
Or Alicia Grimm, we should say. And the X-Man's just like, get away from me! And they blast him away. He gets imbued with this cosmic energy.
Yeah.
Then they go off to fight Galactus. They scare Galactus off. Galactus is like, if this is what I'm going to have to deal with, I'm dipping out. So Galactus leaves. I just bit my lip like a crazy person. Galactus leaves. Yeah, that kind of hurts. Galactus leaves, and then they become normal again and explain the end while I heal my lip.
Okay.
They lose their powers.
So in the end, like, Reed, Professor Xavier, and Bruce Banner, like, lose all their power.
Do you like how Reed, by the way, has a Fantastic Four costume still, but just with no four on it?
Like halfway through after they break up, he's just wearing the jumpsuit without the four on it. But it's like it's still the same jumpsuit that he would have been wearing without the four.
So they defeat Galactus. They X-Men reverts back to the three of them, but they all three have lost their power.
Ben Grimm becomes more powerful. He basically gets the Hulk's, like, strength.
Ben Grimm, because of the cosmic blast from X-Men.
I guess it's kind of like how the universe, like, when you avoid something, it seeks to, reset it. Like, if you went back.
Well, doesn't the Watcher even say that? There is perhaps a cosmic scale somewhere, an inescapable balance, which decrees every gain. For every gain, there must be a loss. So basically, the Thing becomes the Thing again. But he loses his mental capacity, just like the Hulk did in the original Marvel Universe. So they flip it, and even says, we dare you to guess the shock ending. And this is really where they started getting shock endings on these books. Actually, it was the first one. They're like, Sue leaves the FF in #1 for Namor. And this one, it's none of these super teams develop. And Ben becomes basically the Thing, but a Hulk crazy, monstrous version of the Thing. Super strong. Stronger than he ever was as the Thing.
Yeah, there's no super teams
and there's no Avengers.
Stand his way, really.
No Fantastic Four. They're powerless now.
It's like Spider-Man wouldn't have been nearly enough to stop him.
Man, that's kind of dark. A little dark.
Yeah.
It starts off such a hopeful book.
I mean, Thor would have still existed in this universe, I assume.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately that stuff would have happened, right? They just don't band together as the Avengers. So how different is
like Thor's... after the Hulk, like, the Thing becomes Hulk, then that's when the Avengers would form.
Yeah, but how different would the Hulk's? I mean, how different would Thor's story be if there was no Avengers? That could be way different.
Well, I mean, I assume he'd still be, coming to Midgard adventuring.
He would still be. Let's contact Mr. Thomas and let's ask him, like, what happens in the this reality?
Yeah, what happens to Thor, man?
Or better yet, why don't we get together?
Like Thor wasn't even in
Why
this
don't we
issue.
get together and come up with a 5-issue miniseries about this world afterwards, right?
Like Thor in the world of Smart Hulk.
So it's really just like the first one. It starts off really good. Like, oh man, actually, if the Hulk had the brain of Bruce Banner, it would be great.
It's surprising, like, I didn't expect it to have such an impact as it did,
It did, and it makes sense, though.
Yeah, it does.
And that's what Roy Thomas does.
Because, the Hulk's rampages are, like, the cause of a lot of good things happening, things that were necessary to happen.
Yeah.
Just because the Hulk, goes on a tangent.
He created the Avengers by not having Bruce Banner's intellect there with his knowledge of gamma radiation. They don't cure the thing.
The Hulk just lashed out all the time. And
Yeah.
it's like, eventually, it's like you have to do something about it.
Yeah. So it Roy Thomas kind of does the idea of, just like we kind of talked about last time with the Infinity Gauntlet, be careful what you wish for. Because it may seem like it's going to be better because Bruce marries Betty. They have a lot of happiness together.
Yeah.
But what happens to the world after the Thing becomes this mindless, monstrous thing? Alicia, her husband, is now gone forever, supposedly. We don't know what happens. But it seems pretty dark. I really enjoyed this issue of What If. I thought What If number 2 was way better than What If number 1.
Yeah, I mean,
Roy Thomas is a comic book historian, so the discrepancies and the differences, they make sense solidified into Marvel continuity. Right?
Yeah.
And it makes sense that way. The artwork is great. It's exactly what you expect from 1977. This right there of the Watcher, that's Kirby-esque. It's great. It's got that Marvel House style. One of my favorite bits of it, though, is the Spider-Man Hostess ads. Because these Hostess ads were the best, were they not?
Yeah, I remember those.
Oh my god.
They're ridiculous, too.
That one is great. That one's so fun. How did you know, Wallcrawler? Never mind the count. I'll finish the referee. Alias the foe, so I can enjoy the fudgy icing while you can, ref.
Cupcakes.
Those were good, though.
Yeah,
Those are good.
I love cupcakes.
Those are good. So finally, this, by the way, What If is now, the early ones are now recollected in this trade paperback. What If Classic Volume 1. This has What If 1 through 12. Do you recommend this?
I think so.
Do you recommend What If number 2?
I think it's more kind of a... I definitely recommend What If number 2 because that's the good thing about these What Ifs is like you don't have to be really aware of continuity.
Yeah.
But if you are, you can still enjoy it a lot.
But they also just like we said last time we covered What If number 1, they teach you continuity at the same time. They do.
Like you learn about stuff like this happened right here, but what if? But then, the change comes.
If you were a Hulk fan in 1977, you picked up this book because you were a Hulk fan, never read a Fantastic Four book, would you want to read Fantastic Four after this?
I would think so.
Absolutely, right?
The Fantastic Four were, a very important part of the Marvel. So that's why, so far, both What Ifs really adversely affect the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, they do.
More than just about anything else.
Yeah.
So, the Fantastic Four, doesn't form up or disbands, we're fucked.
We're screwed.
Then Galactus comes and
it's over.
What do we do? What do you do after that?
It's over.
One event in Marvel Comics is one of the ones that's so important that you not change. Is the Fantastic Four stopping Galactus.
I think What If is such an amazing comic book. What If number 2 really starts getting going what the vision that Roy Thomas had was. In issue number 1, it felt a little heavy-handed on exposition, a little too explaining. This one does a little bit of exposition at the beginning, and then it just goes. And they fit a lot of story into these, 22 pages. Do they not? This book is fantastic. I love it. I love the artwork, very much of the style. Very dynamic, a lot of story. What If is so much fun that me and Brooks are going to keep doing this. So in Season 2, we're going to be doing What If number 3 and What If number 4. Are you excited for that?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we're going to keep doing this.
What if? What if?
What if I... You got to have a little Creed in your life, right?
Totally.
Anyway, this is the penultimate episode. I almost said issue. This is the penultimate episode of Comics Revisited Season 1.
Oh.
So thank you guys so much for joining us. The next episode will be the final episode of Season 1. Me and my homie Brian are going to be talking about Mouse. The only comic book to ever win the Pulitzer Prize, Brooks. I'm sure you're familiar with it. You've read it.
I've read it.
You have read it, because we are comic book historians and pop culture philosophers. And if you want to be a pop culture philosopher, all you got to do is join us at the PCP Army down on Facebook. Join us at Facebook, PCP Army. You can find it at our Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook page. Just join us. It's so much fun. We have a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much for checking out the video. Let us know what you think about What If. What is your favorite What If comic book? Because there are so many. 2 volumes and a multitude of one-shots afterwards. What If just went on for so long, has so many fun stories, and we're excited to keep it on in Season 2. But join us next time for Mouse for the finale of Season 1 of Comics Revisited, and me and Brooks really do appreciate you guys joining us for this journey. We have done the majority of these episodes for Comics Revisited. I'm very excited for Season 2, are you not?
Yeah, man.
And the show that we...
Like what's next?
Usually when we start shows, we cancel them. And we don't continue, but we're continuing this one. Yeah, we did something right, Brooks. Or we just love doing it.
Pat ourselves on the back.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining us. Let us know what is your favorite What If comic book ever down below. And what are your specific recollections of this one if you ever read it. It's really, really fun.
Yeah, I really like this one.
Really fun. Join us next time for Mouse. Like I said, I'm Rockin' Robbie Billups. This is
Brooks.
Brooks the Magnificent. Bodacious he is, and bodacious you are, for joining us here at the PCP Army, here on Pop Culture Philosophers. Please do like, share, and subscribe, and join us at popculturephilosophers.com for podcasts and a whole lot more. I'm Rockin' Robbie Billups. We've already done that.
Yeah, you did.
You dig? Umbrellas.